my story is started from nothing, less than nothing. And had no opportunity, no chance. I was in the Army, I went in the Army because I had to, because, growing up in New York City was very tough. And the Army was my exit out of New York and away from, surrounded by a criminal atmosphere, which was really bad back in the late 70s and 80s. And I went in the Army. That got me out of New York. It got me in an organized, controlled atmosphere. Gave me discipline. Gave me organizational skills. It showed me, the real, how the world works. Okay, working with people, getting things done, accomplishing your missions, and it really helped me. It saved my life, because if I didn't go in the Army, I guarantee I'd be dead. Maybe if I was lucky, rotting away in some jail. Okay, because that was just the place I was born into. You're a product of your environment. It's very hard to fight your environment when you're surrounded by it. I spent about 5 years in the Army, and then while I was in my last year of the Army, I lived in an apartment building where pretty much everybody was in the military. They lived there and off the base. So I got an opportunity to help the manager out. It was an old lady. And I picked up garbage every single morning. I'd get up, just like we did in the Army, and police the area. You know what that means, police the area? It means look for papers, garbage, whatever's not natural, get rid of it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'd police the whole building, clean the place up, and I'd get $50 a month off my rent. My rent was $500 a month. I only had to pay $450. To me, that, believe it or not, $50 back in, we're talking 1986, 86, 87, it meant something. Okay, basically that's how I got my start. I did a little real estate in leasing while I was in Germany. I was stationed in Germany, and there was not enough housing for all the soldiers. So the soldiers had to go out in what they called the economy, where the Germans lived, and secure, a place to live for them or their families. And then the Army would pay you X amount of dollars towards a housing allowance. So what I did was I hooked up with a guy that I used to find a place off base, and I hooked up with the guy, and then I would bring him soldiers that needed a place to rent. So he'd have the German apartments. I had the soldiers, and every time I brought him a soldier, back then I think he gave me like $150, which was a lot of money back then. Especially in Germany, the German mark was like 4-1 or something like that. So anyway, I've been a hustler my whole life. Growing up in New York, you learn how to hustle, because that's all you can do. And I did it at a very young age. So I was already into hustling. I did some hustling in Germany. Then I got to the States. And then, like I said, I started picking up garbage around the building, and I started really understanding real estate. It's not very difficult, and I try to explain that to people. Real estate is very simple. All right, you're providing either a person a place to live, a business to operate in, and they pay your rent. Okay, it's a very simple arrangement that you have. So basically, I liked it. People would move out. I'd help them get apartments ready. We get things fixed when they break. You're basically maintaining the property, and then they pay your rent, and you constantly got to keep the place full, so you can get the most money coming in. The one thing I learned about real estate, always focus on getting as much money coming in and as little money going out, okay, because it's all about the bottom line. And I try to just tell people and help people, listen, everybody needs to be in real estate in some aspect of their life. Everybody. Okay, because it's a necessity. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs a place to live. Everybody needs a place to work. Okay, real estate is part of life. Okay, we all can't live in a tent like you used to before you make room. And everybody should definitely try to establish something. You may not become a big shot. You may not have $500 million worth of real estate to worry about like I do, but it needs to play some sort of role in your life. And the more you put into it, the more you will make.